A quiet movement, yet one that promises to trigger a major turnaround, is unfolding behind the scenes at St. James Park. While most eyes are focused on the final preseason friendlies, something much bigger and more decisive may be taking shape away from the spotlight. An important meeting is about to take place, and from it could come a decision that will deeply affect the future of Newcastle United. The supporters, paying close attention to every detail, already feel that something is about to explode. The atmosphere within the club's corridors is far from calm. With the squad returning from Asia and key figures like Howe and Alexander Isak back, tensions have risen. A high-level meeting is being arranged and promises to define the direction of one of the squad's most important players. But before we get straight to the point, make sure to leave your like and subscribe to the channel. Your subscription greatly helps this work continue to bring all the latest Newcastle United news with credibility, reliable sources, and hot information straight from behind the scenes. Today we dive into a tense and decisive chapter in the recent history of the Magpies. Howe has returned to England after the Far East tour, and Alexander Isak has already been spotted by Sky Sports arriving at the club's training ground. With both now reunited in Newcastle, the coming hours will be crucial. Sources from Sky Sports itself and other British outlets indicate that a meeting between the manager and the striker is scheduled. The content of the conversation still held in absolute secrecy, but there is no doubt something big is about to happen. Despite the resumption of activities, the atmosphere remains one of mystery and speculation. The final friendlies at St. James Park are confirmed for Friday and Saturday, but the fans' eyes are truly fixed on what's happening behind the scenes. The question hanging in the air is clear: will Alexander Isak stay at Newcastle United? The definitive answer may emerge from the meeting with Howe. So, if you're a Magpies fan and want to keep receiving exclusive updates like this, take this moment to subscribe to the channel. That way, you won't miss anything coming up in this final stretch of the transfer window. Now, here is the main revelation. All signs point to Alexander Isak staying at Newcastle United. According to information gathered by Sky Sports and confirmed by journalists closely following the club, the sale of the Swedish striker will not happen without Howe's direct approval. And, from all indications, the manager is not willing to part with his number 14. Howe, who has already proven to be the true architect of this new era at Newcastle, has full authority to decide who comes in and who goes out. Howe stands is firm. Despite Liverpool's pursuit, which has been ongoing since June, Newcastle United remains unyielding. The club rejected a formal offer of £110 million and is unlikely to accept less than £150 million. Even that sum does not guarantee the player's departure, as the board will only consider selling if they manage to sign another elite striker to cover his absence. So far, that has not happened. Time is on Newcastle's side, and the window is closing fast. What few know is that Howe has already met with representatives from the Saudi Public Investment Fund (PIFT) during the pre-season. In these talks, a strategic plan was defined to handle Isak's situation. The final decision, according to internal club sources, is clear. Newcastle will not sell Isak this window unless everything is aligned to bring in an adequate replacement. If you want to follow every move of this story and stay updated on other crucial club decisions, subscribe now to the channel. Your support makes all the difference. This decision is also about respect. Howe is respected by players, fans, and the board alike. His control over the squad is almost total, a rarity in today's Premier League. In contrast to darker times at the club, such as when Alan Pardew was merely a puppet of Mike Ashley, Newcastle now has a manager who steers the club's sporting destiny with autonomy and competence. This is how Howe has transformed the squad, raising the level of nearly every player who has been under his guidance since November 2021. It's also worth remembering that this isn't the first time a club has tried to take a Newcastle star at the last minute. The most notorious example was Andy Carroll's sale to Liverpool in 2011. At that time, the club was caught by surprise, with Mike Ashley reportedly waiting in a helicopter to close the deal for £35 million. Since then, no other sale has surpassed that amount. But today, the context is different. The current board does not act out of desperation. They have a plan, and that plan does not include rashly parting ways with Isak. Liverpool, for its part, played its cards poorly. It had weeks to prepare a convincing offer but chose to act only on the eve of the new season. The pressure strategy might work with disorganized clubs, but with Howe in charge and the Saudi backing, Newcastle's stance is firm. They are not willing to lose such an important squad member without guarantees. Isak staying is not just a possibility. Right now, it is the most likely outcome. For those who follow the club's story, this represents progress. Newcastle is finally in a moment of strength and stability, where sporting decisions are made with conviction and planning. Isak, it seems, will continue to be an essential part of this project. And if a contract renewal happens in the coming days, with a release clause for the next window, it won't come as a surprise to anyone. If you want to be the first to know when that happens, hit the notification bell and follow all the updates here. As with every transfer window, a lot can change overnight. But at this moment, Newcastle United is determined to keep hold of their main striker. With Eddie Howe leading the project and the firm management of the Saudi owners, the club shows it will not bow to millionaire offers if they compromise sporting future. Alexander Isak is more than just a bargaining chip. He is part of an ambitious project that still has much to deliver. Therefore, the message is clear: Newcastle United is not for sale, nor are its players unless all elements are perfectly aligned. The next season promises a lot for the Magpies, and having Isak on the pitch will make all the difference. Stay tuned to the channel so you don't miss a single detail. At any moment, we may bring more exclusive updates about this and other negotiations. So, to reinforce, subscribe, hit the bell, and join us on this journey.